Hey, what's up guys? Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. We are outside of the Connecticut State Police headquarters, right behind me. As you can see, I was showing you, they put up these new no trespassing signs. Let me take a look here. No trespassing beyond this point. They put up about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 no trespassing signs, and they did that because I spoke and asked questions to the police commissioner, Ronald Higgins, of the Connecticut State Police regarding former Sergeant Bryan Fahey. And the only reason I'm able to be on this public property today is because Bryan Fahey is no longer a member of the Connecticut State Police. He retired in disgrace. I'm getting a lot of different information from sources inside the state police as to why and where is he going next. That's the question. Where is Bryan Fahey going next? What is going to be his next career of civil rights corruption? Where is that going to be? No trespassing, authorized personnel only beyond the yellow line. This yellow line here. Another no trespassing sign. So the commissioner of the state police parks his state police vehicle, black SUV, right here. This is the location of Fahey's original crime. All he had to do was get back to work. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button and sharing this video wherever you can on social media. I appreciate it. I'm taking you guys. I might as well become a Connecticut resident at this point and run for governor. I spent so much time in Connecticut investigating. I was at the town hall in Groton, Connecticut yesterday getting some land records regarding Fahey's property because there's some suspicious activity there. I got a source that told me that he purchased it. He purchased his property well under market value for $115,000. So I'm trying to figure out, how did he do that? There's some trusts involved, some LLCs involved. It's very complicated. I was at the town hall in Groton printing out all the information. For those of you who say that this is not a real job, this is work. This is work. So we have a FOIA request here. I'll show it to you. To the Connecticut State Police, requesting overtime records for the following sworn personnel from August 1st, 2024 to July 31st. Sergeant Bryan Fahey, former Sergeant Bryan Fahey, Lieutenant Stephen Sampson, Trooper Jacob Basalion, Trooper Samantha McCord, Trooper John Such. And then some more different overtime records here, authorization and approval for overtime. These individuals, you might ask yourself, why are you not just requesting Bryan Fahey's information? Well, that's because these other individuals retired unceremoniously on the same exact day as former Sergeant Bryan Fahey. So right here is where the original crime, the constitutional rights violation, the assault occurred. For those of you who remember, back in 2021, I was speaking to Bryan Fahey here. All he had to do was get back in this door and go back to work. I was standing here ready to do my outro, and he took such offense to me standing outside on a public sidewalk outside of a public building that he couldn't get back to work. He assaulted me, pushed me all the way back, broke my camera, pushed me all the way back here. I almost fell over the curb. He's grabbing this brings back a lot of memories, grabbing my shirt, poking me in my chest, saying he's not the one. You know, he's made like a lot of threats. And I ended up over here with Trooper Costello. I couldn't even be here right now if it wasn't for the fact that he retired, because he has an order of protection against me. I'm no threat to former Sergeant Bryan Fahey. Now he has an order of protection against me. And just so we're clear, there are members of the public that are going to this building. It's a member of the public there walking out. I'm not a threat to him. He's a threat to me and everyone else in the state of Connecticut, wherever he is. I have no interest in going to speak to him. At this time, he pulled a gun on me. He spat in my face and mouth. All I want is justice at this point. I wanted to go live because I want to bring you along every step of the way of this investigation. If the state police aren't going to investigate him, then we the people are going to investigate him. So we got everything from overtime records, assignment duty rosters, overtime authorization, approval forms, building access logs, the key card access, payroll summary report, internal affairs, complaints, investigative reports, everything that we can get our hands on here. And then once I get all of the information, I'm going to request surveillance footage of him actually being here to correlate with the punch in and punch out times, so we can make sure that he was actually here. Because this story is much bigger than a constitutional rights violation, the spitting in the face. I believe, from my sources, from my preliminary investigation, that this is widespread corruption in the state police regarding overtime. Time will tell if that pans out or not, but no one else is going to investigate it. No one else is. This is where I first had my rights violated back in 2021 by former Sergeant Bryan Fahey, the unhinged tyrant. So we're going to go inside now, and we're going to submit this FOIA request. I have no interest in speaking to anybody. There's no internal affairs here. Internal affairs wouldn't have much to say. So as of August 1st, he's no longer a state police officer. So let's see. So the public hours of operation. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how are you? I just wanted to submit this. I've written a FOIA request for some documents. I wanted to see if I could speak to legal.
Okay, let me call him real quick.
Call legal, please.
Yeah,
I'd appreciate it.
Quick, I don't know if they're still here, but let me call.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
This place brings back a lot of memories. This is the exact door that former Sergeant Bryan Fahey slammed on my leg multiple times and acted like a complete unhinged savage animal that he is. I can't give you guys too much information. I appreciate you guys being here for the live stream. I'm going to be cutting up these live streams and posting them for those of you who are missing out on the live streams. But there's a lot of information that's going to come out. A lot of civil rights violations by Sergeant Bryan Fahey, former Sergeant Bryan Fahey. A lot of information. He is an unhinged animal that no one likes. So there's a lot of sources that are giving me some good information regarding his unhinged antics, his criminal antics, and things of that nature. So all I will say is that Bryan Fahey had another job lined up right after this one. And it was in law enforcement, but apparently they pulled the job offer. So I still need to speak to that department. You wouldn't even guess what department. I didn't even know this area of Connecticut had a police department. I don't want to give out too many details, but he was supposedly going to work for a department in Connecticut, like all law enforcement officers do, or at least most of them do. They retire, they collect a 6-figure pension, and then they go work and collect another 6 figures from a police department in Connecticut. So hopefully, I just want to submit this to legal. I really don't want to engage with anybody at this point. I just want to be able to submit this on camera with each and every one of you so we can get to the bottom of what's going on here with the overtime, the alleged fraudulent overtime here of the Connecticut State Police. Again, I included 5 other troopers that retired on the same day as Sergeant Fahey. Excuse me, sir. So I can investigate them as well. We have some more troopers. Hopefully, we don't experience any violence today. How you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
Good, good.
How are you?
It's crazy that I can come to a law enforcement agency and I have to be worried about my well-being and my safety. Insane to me. the public servants that we pay. I have to be worried about my well-being and safety. It's absolutely ridiculous. So we're waiting to speak to somebody from legal. I can't believe they don't have these doors open to the public. All doors are locked. Please wait for a trooper to assist you. Little by little, ladies and gentlemen, our public servants are separating themselves from the public. And now they have no parking signs. You know, they just, anything but take accountability. Look, they have these no parking
How are you?
fire lane here.
Yeah, you have an appointment for here? Okay.
As you can see, other members of the public are going in. So if you don't remember, I brought my billboard truck, my LED 14-foot billboard truck, and parked it right here. Right in front of the state police headquarters. For a lot of windows, so we got a lot of views, people looking out their window. But we parked it right here. At that time, there wasn't any fire lane markings, no parking over there. None of that existed. But apparently they added that after the fact. They said they were going to tow my billboard truck. So we parked it here, and we had playing on the screens Fahey's greatest hits. So the billboard truck is going to be coming back to the state of Connecticut. That's for sure. Without a doubt. Drive around Mystic, Groton, New London, Middletown, everywhere we can to expose the corruption that's taking place here. Hey, that looks like the new Bryan Fahey, maybe. He's the new sergeant of pistol permits. All of this for a camera. Can you believe it? All of this for a man with a camera. So if you're just joining, we are here, the scene of the crime. This is exactly where former Sergeant Bryan Fahey assaulted me, violated my constitutional rights, broke my camera, grabbed me by my shirt, poked me in the shirt, saying he's not the one. He's made a lot of verbal threats to me over the years. He's not the one. I made the biggest mistake of my life. None of those are true. He's not the one. I mean, he's a coward. That's what he is. He's a coward. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I still have a job. He doesn't. I mean, so who really made the biggest mistake? And the job he had lined up to go to, the department he was going to go to after he left the Connecticut State Police, is now rescinding their job offer. That's what I'm told through my sources. Again, I want to confirm it. I'll just tell you guys, because I appreciate you guys being here in the live stream, joining me. We have almost 6,000 people here. Hit the like button. If we can get up to 3,000 likes, at least half likes, hit the like button right there, right below the video. I'll tell you what department he was going to go for. How about that? I will let you know. But keep it a secret. Keep it between us, you know? I don't want the world knowing or anything. No, but I will be calling that police department for comment and to confirm my source's information. They launched an internal affairs investigation. They have never investigated former Sergeant Bryan Fahey for any of his constitutional rights violations. They've covered for him at every turn. But my sources inside of this very building, inside of the state police, tell me they've launched an internal affairs investigation into finding out who's leaking all this information to me, who leaked the additional names of state troopers who are retiring, who retired the same day as Bryan Fahey, who are receiving 6 figures in overtime every single year. They are trying to find out who the whistleblower is here. Good luck. You're not going to find out. My lips are sealed. The whistleblower inside the state police knows what they're doing. So good luck with that. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. We're almost at 3,000 likes. Come on, hit the like button right down there. And I'm going to tell you the job that former state police officer, state police sergeant Bryan Fahey had lined up for after he retired. Unceremoniously, like a coward, in the dead of night, announcing it the day before. Sickening. And then he was just gonna go right into, why does this continue to happen? Misconduct by the state police, misconduct by law enforcement across this country. And what do? They resign, retire, and then go work down the street to go violate some more constitutional rights, to go engage in some more criminal behavior and not be held accountable. He still hasn't been criminally charged by the state's attorney. He spat in my face. He menaced and threatened me with a gun. Reckless endangerment. Felonies. He committed felony crimes, felonious crimes, and he has still not been held accountable for those. I am told from my source that the offer from this police department, we're at $3,000. So I'm told, this is not confirmed yet, hopefully I'll be able to get a hold of the police chief of this department, that former state police sergeant Bryan Fahey was going to work, he's retired, and he was going to work for the Foxwoods Police Department. So Foxwoods, for those of you who aren't familiar, here in Connecticut, Foxwoods is a casino. Bryan Fahey was about to go get a job after retiring from the Connecticut State Police at a casino as a law enforcement officer for the tribal police department of the Foxwood Casino. I'm told by my sources tell me that a lot of these state troopers, they work here, put in their 20 years. I don't believe Bryan put in 20 years here. Again, he retired unceremoniously in the dead of night like a coward. But they put in their 20 years here, and then they go work for the tribal police department at Foxwoods Casino. And that's exactly, imagine the type of criminal behavior former unhinged Sergeant Bryan Fahey could have engaged in at a casino. Extortion. There's a whole laundry list of criminal behavior he could have engaged in. And I guess the Constitution wouldn't apply. I don't really know how tribal departments work. He had a job lined up at the Foxwoods Tribal Police Department, which is very close to his residence in Mystic, Connecticut. But apparently and allegedly, that offer was rescinded because of our work, because we have exposed him to thousands of people. We almost have 7,000 people here watching live. This is a story that has captivated not only the nation, but patriots and freedom lovers across the world. I receive emails from England, from Denmark, from South Africa, Australia, and everywhere in between regarding this unhinged savage. And no matter what happens, if he's never charged by the state's attorney's office, if he does get another job in law enforcement, first of all, I'm never going to quit exposing him. But he will be forever, his legacy is one of tyranny and corruption. That's what he will be remembered for. In 3 generations down, 4 or 5 generations down, when his offspring, his offspring, I'll be nice. His offspring does an ancestry DNA test. They're going to be like, hey, my great-great-great-granddad was Bryan Fahey. He was a Connecticut State Police officer. Let me look him up. And they're going to look him up and they're going to see all of his corruption, all of his unhinged criminal behavior, and they're going to be ashamed to be part of that bloodline. Ashamed, unless they're just like him. Unless they're just like him. So we're out here waiting for legal. We do have, if you're just joining, we're waiting for legal right here at the scene of the original crime. Well, the first 2 crimes. Tried to slam the door on me over here multiple times like a savage. And then this is where the original sin and crime and constitutional right violation right behind me pushed me back. My hands were in the air. I had a paper in my hand just like this. I was like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. And I almost tripped over this curb here. Can you believe that? Who here knew? I want to see it in the chat. Who here knew that Foxwoods, there's people looking out the window at me. Very interesting. Who here knew that Foxwoods Casino had their own tribal police department? I didn't know that. I'm not a big casino kind of guy. You know, how you doing, sir? I'm not a big casino goer, but who here knew that? Who here knew about the tribal police department? Yeah, the overtime, everything that I'm requesting is right here in the FOIA request. I'm requesting, for those of you who are just joining, I am going to be requesting information regarding all of the state troopers that were involved, that have retired on the same day as Bryan Fahey, because when I investigated their overtime, everybody who retired with Bryan Fahey had massive amounts of overtime. One trooper had $120,000 in overtime. He made more in overtime than he made as his base salary. Insanity. So I'm requesting all of those documents, overtime records, duty rosters, assignment rosters, overtime authorization or approval forms, building access logs, payroll summary report, internal affairs complaints, because what internal affairs does here, the same internal affairs who's investigating the whistleblower, my source inside the state police, those people who don't do their job other than to try and find out who's blowing the whistle on their corruption, they have covered. There have been multiple internal affairs complaints against former disgraced Sergeant Bryan Fahey, and they have covered them up. They have made them disappear. This is not conspiracy, this is fact. They have made them disappear. Bryan has raked people's face. He's done horrible things. Horrible things. People that, you know, what happens when you're a low-life piece of shit, unhinged individual like Bryan Fahey, what happens is that even people who know you around your inner circle, they start telling on you and wanting to expose you. My sources are people who know him personally. He'll never figure it out either. Those are my sources. And I found out yesterday, for those of you watching, who watched yesterday, when me, Leroy Truth, John Felix, Garden State Accountability, We the People News, a bunch of activists there, full court press, when we all spoke at the meeting yesterday, that they only gave us 2 minutes. They lowered it. It's my latest live. Go check it out on my channel. 2 minutes to speak. The mayor of Groton is besties with Bryan Fahey's wife. She's besties. The mayor of Groton is besties with Bryan Fahey's wife. They comment in each other's Facebook. I have all of it. I have all the information. This is like going to be a documentary. Hopefully, you know who reached out to me? If you're familiar, Tommy G, the YouTube channel. Tommy G has reached out to me, and he's interested in working with me on a documentary for what's going on here in Corrupticate. So if you know Tommy G, huge YouTube channel, millions and millions of views, this would put Connecticut under a huge spotlight. I mean, we do it already. We do it already. We the people, we come together and we do it. We got 7,000 people in here. But if Tommy G gets involved, ooh, that's ratcheting it up to a whole nother level. And if you guys ever seen, I'm gonna give you some behind the scenes. If you guys ever seen like those, you know, 1 liberal versus 20 conservatives, 1 conservative versus 20 liberals on YouTube, we're thinking about doing something like 1 auditor versus 20 cops. We got some good ideas coming. Stay tuned to both of our channels. If Tommy G gets on this, gonna blow it wide open. But I need you guys to hit that like button. We should be at least 5,000 likes. Hit that like button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's right below. It's right below, right here. And you can hit the share button, little arrow, and share it on your social media. That'd be great. We're waiting. We tried to speak to the trooper. Right now, we're waiting outside the state headquarters to speak with somebody in legal, just to submit. We just want to submit a FOIA request, a very detailed FOIA request for a lot of information. And this is the first of many FOIA requests, because once we get these documents, then we're going to be able to get some surveillance footage to confirm that he was there on these certain days that he worked. I want it all broken down. How did you earn $85,000 a year for the last 5 years, Bryan? How? As a desk sergeant that works at headquarters. How'd you do it, Bryan? How did he do it? How did Bryan do it? And let me be clear. In no way am I talking to Bryan directly. I don't want to. I'm not a threat to him. He's a threat to me. He's a threat to everybody in the state of Connecticut. Anywhere he is, he's a threat to those people. He needs to be arrested and charged with felonies, felony threatening, felony reckless endangerment, well, misdemeanor reckless endangerment, felony threatening in the first degree, federal crime of civil rights violation under color of law. They got us. We got 7,200 people watching. Let's go. I hope Tommy G gets involved in this. I hope we're able to collaborate and do some. He does great documentaries. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. Huge YouTube channel. I spoke to him on the phone yesterday. Hopefully, he'll be able to help us out to expose what's going on here with the overtime. We had a very good conversation yesterday, myself and Tommy G. So we're going to see where we're going to take this to the next level and expose all the fraudulent overtime, the civil rights violations happening here in the state of Connecticut. You know why you should care about this story? Is because if they can do this to me, charge me with felony voyeurism, criminal trespassing, breach of the peace, set my bond at $75,000, do the same thing to my cameraman, set his bond at $50,000. We live in North Korea. If this is acceptable, we live in North Korea. We live in Venezuela. We live in Russia. This is not free society. And that's why we need to fight back, come together. See, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make me spend all this money in legal bills, and they're trying to drain me financially. They know attorneys are expensive, so they're like, oh, well, he has to pay for attorneys. He's going to give up. No, you guys have supported me. You have donated to my GoFundMe in the description. I have the attorney's fees. And if it becomes more expensive, I'll put it out of my own pocket. We'll do whatever it takes. I'm never going to give up. Never. Never. We're going to investigate the commissioner. There's so many things left to do here. Let's see. Somebody talked about the Meshanatucket Pequot Tribal Nation. Yeah, that's where he was going to go work. Did you see the mayor of Dover, New Jersey launched an investigation a few weeks ago? Why his officers more money in overtime than their base pay? Oh, I'm sure this is happening all over our country. I'm sure it's happening all over our country with this fraudulent overtime pay. Even if he was here till 12 o'clock midnight, like, it's still fraudulent in my eyes. You don't need to be working all... You're trying to inflate... What they're doing is they're trying to inflate the state police right behind me. They're trying to inflate their salary so they can get a six-figure pension for the rest of their life while working while working at another department. No, they're not going to smoke me. No, I'm protected. I am protected. I got each and every one of you who are watching my back. This is why. If I was out here and there was 2 people on this live stream, yeah, they might. But 7,000 of you in here, 6,800 now. A couple people left. I know we're waiting. We're waiting to get in. Nothing I could do. I didn't expect this live stream to be a very long one. Let's see. Did you see the local newspaper article? No, I didn't see it. Send it to me to my email, longislandaudit@gmail.com. And if anybody wants to help expose Fahey, send me an email, longislandaudit@gmail.com. How do you have a job lined up if he retired due to you? I don't know. Maybe he was already... I don't know how he had his job lined up. Again, maybe he was thinking about retiring and and I just sped up the timetable. That could be the case. He was already planning on retiring and working for this tribal police department that operates out of Foxwoods Casino. Again, this is all alleged. This is what I'm told. But I'm told that they pulled their job offer. that the tribal police department, once they saw all this attention that he was getting and everything that we've been exposing, they pulled the job offer from him. So he's currently unemployed. But he's still getting a 6-figure pension from our tax dollars. And I can say our tax dollars, and we all can say our tax dollars, because Connecticut receives hundreds of millions of dollars in federal funding. We all pay federal taxes. And especially me, I basically live part-time in Connecticut. I pay a bunch of taxes every time I get a hotel. I take the ferry. I get gas. I go to dinner. I'm a big contributor to the economy here in Connecticut. All thanks to this unhinged lunatic. Again, there's a lot we're still investigating. Internal affairs, there's a lot, the overtime, his new employment. I'm going to be making sure that he never gets a job in law enforcement again. Never, ever, ever. He can go work for Allied Universal. I heard Allied Universal's hiring, and I think he has the perfect temperament for an Allied Universal security guard. They act just like him. He'd fit right in. What do you guys think? Put a 1 in the chat if he'd fit in with Allied Universal. Put a 1 in the chat if you think unhinged Bryan Fahey would fit in at Allied Universal. They have really high standards over there, don't they? At Allied, those are some thugs over there, man. It's crazy. I'm sure he'd love it over there. What's up with legal, man? Why aren't they doing anything? Top flight security of the world, right? Come on. I don't want to be out here all day. I have other corrupt and other investigations to conduct.
Arthur, do you have a completed?
I have a completed by statute. I don't need to fill out one of those.
Okay, no, I'm just saying if you needed one.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I have a completed one of these. So is legal here?
No, it doesn't seem. I'm calling everybody. They're not.
Well, can you take this and make sure it gets legal?
No, I can definitely take it from you and get it to them.
Okay.
There's no problem with that.
Okay, and I'll be expecting just an email confirmation, and I am recording that.
Yeah.
What's your name? Just so I know I gave it to you.
Senti.
Senti?
Yep.
Trooper Senti?
Yep.
All right, so here is my FOIA request.
I can take it from you.
Yep.
Me to stamp it for you?
Yeah, that'd be great. Give me a copy. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. That'd be
You
great.
guys all here for?
Yes, we would like to know if
Do you have an appointment? You do? Oh, you don't. All right, give me 1 second. I'll let you guys in. Give me a second.
So we're gonna wait for our stamped copy of our FOIA request, and we'll be getting out of here. But again, right over here, this is where Sergeant Fahey originally violated my constitutional rights, assaulted me, and was never held accountable. The state police covered it up. And then that door this is the door right here that he slammed on my leg multiple times and again violated my constitutional rights by taking my camera from my possession. Fourth Amendment violations, First Amendment violations, assault, breach of the peace, federal civil rights crime, violation of civil rights under color of law, a federal crime. And again, I did go to the FBI yesterday morning and spoke with a special agent regarding what's happening here. And I gave them a written statement. I explained it to them. He did tell me, I'm sorry that happened to you, Mr. Reyes. We're going to look into it. So I don't trust anybody in the government. Again, I'm not a bootlicker. I'm not a sheep.
Sir, you want to?
Yep.
she'll have you book it and she'll pre-register you
I
and
just
everything online.
timestamped it and gave you a copy.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm going to give them a copy.
All right. Perfect.
All right.
Thanks, Trooper Senti. Thank you. Appreciate it.
My appointment was
So you have an
yes, I
appointment?
do.
All right, come on.
I'm all pre-registered and everything online.
All right, guys. This is where it all started in 2021. What madness. Look at all these state police vehicles. These guys get their own vehicles. The commissioner gets a nice black SUV. So we did get our stamped copy that it was received. Obviously, state trooper Senti is on camera receiving it. The good thing about Connecticut, the only good thing, the bad things are their state's attorneys, their prosecutors aren't elected. The bad thing is that their police departments set your bond. It is wild. The state of Connecticut, Corrupticate, is set up for corruption. The way it works here, the way the judges, the way the state's attorneys, everybody, the way it all works, it has nothing to do with being elected by the people. It's all internally done. There's no attorney general that investigates misconduct in police departments like we have in New York. There's none of that. None of that whatsoever. It's set up for corruption. As you all saw, I tried to speak to the governor, didn't want to speak to me. He told me he set up an appointment. Shocker, he never reached out to me. I know, right? Shocking. He never set up the appointment to speak to me. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. So we got our stamped copy of our FOIA request for all the overtime documents, internal affairs. The good thing about Connecticut, the only good thing, is that there is a FOIA commission that if they do not hand over documents, you can sue them and take it to a FOIA commission where they can be fined and forced to hand the documents over per statute. So that's a good thing. So I appreciate all your support. We're going to be getting out of here. Maybe I'll pay Internal Affairs a visit before I leave Connecticut. I'm here for a while. So I want to thank you all for the super chats. We the people will never be defeated. No, we will not. We will never be defeated. I appreciate all of you. This is where we are leaving, where it all started. And it's going to end here. When Fahey loses his pension, when he loses his certification to be a police officer, because that's my next step. I'm going to the post certification committee, and I'm going to be handing them over all this evidence to decertify him from ever being a law enforcement officer ever again. This is where it started, and this is where it's going to end, because I'm going to invite everybody for a big party right out front. So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned for all the updates. There's so much to the story. I'm working on it. Stay tuned. Give me some time. Thank you all. I love you all. Thank you so much for your support. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out and share this video. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next one. Long Island Audit. Peace.